What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Danny the Bull, back with another live stream here on this Thursday afternoon. I've been in a good streak of live streams. It's a good time to talk about the market as it's been hammered. Alts are down to the bottom of their range. I'm seeing people on the timeline questioning, is this it? Is the top in on Bitcoin? Will there be an alt season? Of course, until there is an alt season, there isn't an alt season. But we'll talk about all of that today. I do think there will be an alt season soon, as I've said and illustrated over a bunch of recent live streams. My mind has not changed. I think we're in a range where market's resetting. It's taking a breather. It's all perfectly normal for this time in the market. We'll look at some market data history, cycle history, and all that to talk about it. We'll talk about AI tokens a bit, just because I've been wanting to. Someone asked last time, what are some good AI projects? And I think it's good to wrap our minds around the narrative, because I do think it's the hottest narrative this cycle. But don't worry, Russ G. We will be talking about Medicaid as always, and all of our favorite alts. So it's not a strictly AI focused stream. We will talk about a bunch of different topics, coins, whatever you guys want to talk about. We're going to start with overall market stuff, talk about why I am not concerned, and let's get into it. Let's see who we got up in here so far. We got Matt in the house. What's going on? Hope all is well with you too. Are you still bullish on Chuck? Absolutely still bullish on Chuck, still riding, and alongside the whole Chuck community. Great community, great meme, holding a solid floor of about 1.5 million. Which is what you want to see out of, a meme coin on base. So Chuck is hanging in there, and that's all you can ask for, is to hang in there during adverse market conditions, because 99% of meme coins of that size will fade away. But the Chuck community is not fading away anytime soon. So, we always come out on the other side of these dips. Base Lab in the house. What's going on, brother? Yes, make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, become a channel member if you would like to support the channel, and join the private TG for a cup of coffee a month. Let's go, Timo. What's going on, brother? My crypto, not yours. How you doing? We got about 15 people in here in the first 3 minutes. Let's get started. And market's down, but it's in a range, so it's nothing to be concerned about, in my opinion. And whenever Bitcoin gets hammered, alts get hammered, and there's a lot of emotion in this market, and there always is, and that works both ways. There's emotion to the upside, but we like that emotion because that's called euphoria, and that feels good. But when the price goes down, it doesn't feel good, right? The numbers go down, but if you look at your alts, they're just staying. Most of them are ranging, right? And they're in the bottom of their range, which, should be a good opportunity to DCA if your thesis is that we go higher and that there will be an alt season, okay? And to be very clear, until there is an alt season, there is not an alt season, and nothing is 100% in this world. But to me, everything indicates that there will be. And so the risk reward is something that I like. Okay. So you don't get this sort of risk reward in any other asset. And we are now in the third year of Bitcoin's up, trajectory. It goes up for 3 years. It goes down for 1 year. This is how the cycle has played out. And this is how the cycle is playing out. It requires a lot of patience. You have to deal with the volatility, especially when you've been in it for a long time, right? And many of us have been here for years, stacking, waiting, and it seems like the finish line is getting close, and then you get hit with another dip. And sometimes the dips are precipitous, like on Bitcoin. When it goes down it was at 102K and it drops precipitously. It feels like it's jarring, right? But it's all part of the course for this sector, which is fueled with hyper volatility. And so if you look at the 7-day, we were right up here. We were feeling good, thinking maybe we get back to retesting, but volume was low on Bitcoin. If you were looking at it, volume was low when we went back to that, retest 102. And so it was a bit of a fake out. The jobs data came out, which was positive, right? We got positive jobs data, but the market didn't like it because that means that perhaps we get a hawkish Fed, right? And a Fed that is reluctant to cut rates, right? And the market likes rate cuts. But, the overall economy is chugging along. So we're in a macro bull run. Zoom out. When in doubt, zoom out and look at the yearly chart. Bitcoin, it's bullish. This is, what we were at. We started a year ago. We were at $39,000, $40,000. It's 8 months of consolidation. Okay. And so there are two schools of thought here. If people are worried about the state of crypto and alt season, there are two schools of thought. One is that the top is in on Bitcoin, right? And everything, don't worry about alts, just focus on Bitcoin because Bitcoin drives the market. Alts are going to fluctuate wildly. Okay. So if the portfolio is down a lot on your alts and it feels like shit, just focus on Bitcoin and ask yourself, is the top in? If you think the top is in, then there wouldn't be an alt season, right? If that comes out to be true, right? If the top is in. I don't think the top is in. The other scenario that I hear, so if the top is not in, that means that Bitcoin is breaking 108 at some point in the foreseeable future, and then the alts should follow suit. All right, so the other school of thought is that we won't have an alt season because, and I addressed this in the last video, because it's an ETF-driven cycle. Okay, but go back and watch the last video if you're worried about that, because I don't think that's the case either, because we've seen money flooding into alts, and we've seen a bunch of alts go up. We had a mini alt season last year. The total market cap of crypto was $3.5 trillion, the same as it was at the height of last cycle. So we're starting, we're getting into alt season at below 3.5 now, but in that $3 trillion range, which is the top of the last cycle. So, in my opinion, it's just a waiting game, and patience will get rewarded. If your thesis is that we go up and we have an alt season, then I think that we are in a good buying range right now on a lot of these alts. Okay, we're seeing a lot of things on sale. If you look at the all-time Bitcoin chart, zoom out, nothing to worry about on the long-term time frames. All right, this looks great. And so really nothing to worry about, in my opinion. Bitcoin could even dip lower, right? So right now, we flirted with 91 today. We dipped down to 91.3. If you don't hold 91, you're looking at 89. If you don't hold that, you're looking at 85. All of those things are within play. We said that, when we first dipped in December, the total move down from 108 to 91 was 16%. But if you look at historical dips in previous cycles, at this exact point in the cycle, you're looking at bigger dips, right? You're looking at a 36% dip in January of 2017, a 36% dip in January of 2021. So far, now we're at 16%. This is because we're down to 91. All right. And we had a 16% dip in December. And now we're back at that $91,000 region. So far we're at 16%, which is less than the previous two cycles at the exact same point in the cycle. So Bitcoin, we tend to think of a bull run as up only, but it's hyper volatile. you will get 3 to 4 major dips in the parabolic stage, the last leg of the bull market. We are closer to the end than the beginning of the cycle, but we're in the best part of the cycle, which is the last leg. All right. And again, if you look at this is the 20, let me try to zoom in. 2017 cycle, January open, 35% dump. Chugged up, another dump. Chugged up, a nice leg up right here. Another dump, leg up, dump, leg up, short dump. But you see how the dumps get, the time frames are shorter, were shorter in 2017. Quick rebound at the end. Okay, this is like 1 week down, right back up, parabolic below off top, end of the party. All right, but along the way, it takes some time for the market to reset, for in order to build momentum and regain strength in the market. This was 2021 cycle. We ran up, 36% dump, back up, sideways dump. This is the first top of the year in May. All right, and then a scary dump all the way down through the summer. All right, this was not easy to get through. And in fact, 50% of alts had already topped. We didn't know it back then. But looking in hindsight now and looking at the numbers, which I did in my last video, 50% of alts had already seen their top in April and May. But the market came back. Bitcoin came back in slightly higher top. The rest of the alts topped out here. Or this was the double top. I made them, yeah, these right here. This is the first top, double top here. Yeah, this was the down cycle and the down part of the cycle in the summer. This is the bear market right here. Bear market chugging back up. And now here we are. All right, and so this should turn into, some more up, some more up, because again, we're in the third year of this, the final leg of this run. Trump has taken office with the, it doesn't feel like a top, right? We got Trump coming into office with the most pro-friendly crypto government in American history. The stock market is also dipping, but there is room for the stock market to go up. The NASDAQ's going to go up, the S&P, the NASDAQ. We're in a macro bull market still. And so nothing to be worried about. And here's another great chart from Michael Pizzino. Him and his brother do great TA on overall markets. And he illustrates in this chart, 3 years up, and this is the first cycle. This is back in 2013 cycle. And crypto is very, as volatile it is and as difficult as it is. And right now on my timeline, there are people, and in DMs, there are people questioning if we're going to have an alt season. It's been very consistent. But again, until you have it, you don't have it, right? So it's that you have to keep that in the back of your mind and be open to all outcomes. But the first cycle, 3 years up, 1,143 days of up, 410 days of down. Second cycle, 103 weeks of up, about 1 year of down. Third cycle, 102 weeks of up, 376 days of down. And here we are, 67 weeks so far. All right, and so still got some time to move up. All right, we're actually 780 days in right now to this cycle. All right, so we've got some time. If history repeats, and the beauty of crypto is that each cycle has repeated. All right, it's scary because of the volatility, Doesn't feel great when when your numbers go down in the portfolio. That doesn't feel great, but you got to trust the cycle. And what I've learned is I don't bet against the cycle until it gives me, a reason to, like until it proves itself wrong, contradicts itself. I'm not betting against the cycle. And last cycle, and that works in both directions. Last cycle, people said that it was a super cycle. You'll hear it again, I'm sure, this year when peak euphoria hits towards the end of the year or whenever it happens. People will talk about a super cycle. This time is different because the ETFs are involved and institutions will continue to buy Bitcoin, and countries are now buying Bitcoin. We're not going to have a bear market. It's going to happen. I'm not betting against the cycle. So it's important to study the cycle, understand it. And if the volatility bothers you, don't look at your portfolio and walk away. Here's Michael Saylor. Again, talking about how we're in a reset. All right. And it's just another kind of leg up. And you see legs up, consolidation. All right. The fifth wave up was 25 weeks. This was the summer. 8 months of sideways chop. 9 weeks of chop. 30 weeks of chop. 8 weeks of chop. 9 weeks of chop. Right now we're at 7 weeks of chop. All right. So none of these consolidation periods lasted less than 8 weeks. This one could go on a few more weeks. We'll see how it plays out. We've got jobs data coming out on Friday. We've got a Fed meeting at the end of the month on the 29th of January. So we'll see if the Fed comes out hawkish, expect volatility. We've got Trump's inauguration on the 20th. And that's, that could be something that generates optimism, resets sentiment, and it's something to look forward to. If you're running hot into the inauguration, then you can expect a cool off. But the fact that we're heading into the inauguration at these levels with, the fear and greed index ticking down, and I think we're still in the greed zone. Last I checked, we were at a 64 on the fear and greed, which is still in greed territory. Sometimes you've got to get into neutral for the market to reset, consolidate, and then go off on another parabolic run, and then euphoria sets in. And then historically, this is the time when alt season has set in. And right now we're in the middle area here, chopping around in the 50-point zone. We dipped into alt season above 75 back in early December when Bitcoin was just getting to new all-time highs. And, at the big caps, XRP made a big move. ADA made a nice move. We saw the big caps moving a lot here. Cooled off, came back down. But again, looking at last cycle, we were in the same area around this time. We'd actually come out of a bearish alt space or, headspace in December. We were, because Bitcoin dominance hit 70% last cycle. All right. It hit 60% in this past December. And if it feels hard for people to think about alt season now, think about what it felt like last cycle when Bitcoin dominance was up to 70%. We were in full-on Bitcoin season just, what would have been a few weeks ago. Then, things ticked up into January, a slow rise through March, and then off to the races. And again, your biggest moves come in the shortest amount of time. I think that's hard for people to wrap their minds around. We think that it's a bull run that lasts for years, and it's after the halving, everything goes up. Truth is, you get spurts of things going up, specific coins going up, or certain sectors going up for a period of time. But the banana zone, when all the gains are made, is in a very brief amount of time. So you wait 2-3 years for 8 weeks. And so it's important to recognize that and act accordingly. when we get into this zone, I said it in my last video, that's when it's time to take the chips off the table, DCA out a bit. But if you're expecting this to kick in, then this here is, time to buy. And and that's where we are right now. All right. And we'll see what happens in the coming weeks. But, nothing in my mind right now tells me that that's not coming. But again, until it comes, it hasn't come. And this has, caused some fear. I think US cleared to sell 6.5 billion in Bitcoin. Will it crash the price? And you see these things, that happened with Germany, and that pushed the price down to 50,000 in the summer. Germany cheated. That didn't work out well for them. This does not bother me at all. First of all, they're going to do this in auctions or whatever, and it's not going to crash the price. So if you look at this, for example, between March 2023 and now, Bitcoin, the government's Bitcoin holdings have dropped from 236,000 Bitcoin to 198,000. So they've already sold $3.5 billion at current prices. Right. And despite the sell-off, Bitcoin price surged 375% during that time. They're not going to move it in a way that's going to push the price down or manipulate the price. All right. It'll be done in, deals over the counter or whatever. These are headlines that scare the market. I think, market makers use it to push price down. But, in a couple of weeks, the headlines are going to be America starting a Federal Reserve and all these things. So, America's buying, Bitcoin, and then other countries are FOMOing in, and you'll get the opposite emotion and feeling. So that's just part of the game. It's a bull market. And when you ride a bull, you get thrown off it multiple times. And again, the setup is perfect. Trump met with the Ripple executives just this week. Right, so this is Trump with the Ripple executives. You've got a new head of the CFTC about to be named, presumably a crypto-friendly person, and they'll likely be the ones regulating the space, not the SEC. Right, the Commodities Commission. And so it's all good. All right, so let me jump into the chat if you're all still here. And before we move on, let's go add it to my MCADE. Yeah, and MCADE is at a good price right now. And these are, if that alt season hits, these are the opportunities. About a $40 million market cap, according to Coin Market Cap. I saw, I think on CoinGecko, it says, is it higher? Oh, it's open here. Reports the market cap a little higher here. I think it's higher. CoinMarketCap has it wrong. But yeah, under 3 cents. This is, if you look at the chart, this was support after the last all-time high. It came back down to 2.7. And heading back there, 2.9, good price for Medicaid. Base AI. Yeah, I was looking at Base AI today. I made a list of about 30 different AI coins. I'll share it shortly. Just because I'm buying a bunch of stuff for my father-in-law, so I have to create like a portfolio for him. He's going pretty heavy. And I want to capitalize on some AI plays for him. And so I made a list of big caps, mid caps, small caps. Let's go. I honestly think give Based AI looks like a strong AI play, especially since Elon Musk has been engaging with their accounts. I did not see Elon engaging with their accounts. I didn't see that first appearance. Let's go, Val. How you doing, brother? It's 2025. We're ready. Fully agree. Yeah. Yeah, Pal AI is strong. Let me get into that. Pepe will also flip fake Pepe coin. I don't know, man. You're talking about you're talking about flipping the $8 billion Pepe? I don't know. Raven in the house. What's good, Mother Chucker? Got my Chuck energy drink right here in case I get tired during the stream. MK Vibe says he met Russ and the MK team at Gamescom in Germany last year. I'm telling you, they are elite. Been in crypto a long time and never seen a better opportunity. Going over 5 billion market cap. They got huge plans. Yeah, I mean, Russ is a solid leader. I attribute a lot of the success of Medicated to him and the team. Obviously, the decisions they've made have been spot on. They've been ahead of the curve, transitioning to base, leveraging the AI narrative. It's a natural cross-section between AI and gaming. And so, it's impossible to make predictions on how high things go, but we've seen gaming coins get up into the billions. I'm hopeful that Medicaid, it's got the potential and it ticks the boxes for something with a lot of strength, strong community, great leadership, on an emerging ecosystem in base. It ticks all the boxes. It's why I made it my biggest gaming play early in the cycle, and I've been rewarded thus far. I think we'll continue to be rewarded. Cash Games in the house, also a big MK bull. What's going on, brother? Oh, yes. Yeah, Elon engaged with Pepe coin. Oh, which is part of the based AI ecosystem. Got you. Yeah, I saw that. Thoughts on Devi? I'm very bullish on Devi. I bought near the top, went down 90%, but now I'm up. Yeah, I am. I also bought Devi. We'll get into AI soon. I also bought Devi, and I've said this multiple times. I didn't buy it at the top, but I bought it. The first time I bought it might have been about $1. No, it was on the way up. First time I bought it was because it launched at 40 cents. I want to say I bought it like 70 cents. I averaged up because stupid me didn't recognize that it was a fake alt season earlier in the year. I got psyched out thinking that this time was different. Bought at 70 cents. I averaged up at $1, came back down. I probably bought more over here at 70 cents. But there was a lot of, unrest with Devi because of the unlocks, the tokenomics. People were bearish on it, but the fundamentals never changed and the potential never changed. So I loaded up down here between 14 cents and 25 cents. Now it's back to $1.20, and I'm really bullish on it because when you listen to first, I love Austin, the guy who speaks, the community manager. He's really articulate. He's kind of like a perfect front man for a crypto project. He's able to articulate the narrative, the technology. He could speak on the tech. But they've got a major partnership coming. And that's why you look at the rest of alts and you look at Devi, it's like Bitcoin has not dipped. Right? I mean, we were up at $1.32, and this was about to flip my MK bag. And we've had a slight dip down to $1.20. It gets bought up. It's getting bought up because people recognize the potential. It's got $100 million market cap, but it's a blockchain for industries. It's a blockchain that is being created for big institutions, right? Like NASDAQ and, these places. And so the potential for something like that is big, and they say they have a big partnership with a household name. All right, and that's going to be released soon, and that'll open doors for them. And so something like that could catalyze this very quickly to $1 billion market cap. It's up a lot, but at $100 million market cap, no one can predict the future. And all of this is just, I look at it like putting my chips on a table. And it's like investing in prospects. If you're I liken it to like Major League Baseball if you're a baseball fan, even if you're a soccer fan, a football fan. It's like investing in a young athlete that has all the tools to become an elite star. You don't know what's going to happen. Maybe they break their leg. Maybe they don't pan out. And so I put my chips on a bunch of them in the hopes that a few of them pay off. But if something like a layer 1 pays off, those can get into the billions. 5 billion, 10 billion is not a very big market cap for a layer 1. And so if that were, if Devi goes to $10 billion market cap, that's 100x from here, right? I'm not saying that'll happen, but I like the potential of these things. That's why I like Tectum, right? That's why I like Mint Layer, because they're infrastructure plays that have the potential, if the marketing, the narrative, the stars align, can get to big valuations and you can hit a home run on it. So Devi, absolutely. I like Devi. And I like how it's performing right now. And I can't wait to see what their announcement is, because it could catalyze it to, if it's a big announcement and a big partnership, it could go up fast. Thoughts on Miria and GFAL lately? Been a bit quiet on the news front. Yeah, you know what? They've been, Ron was saying in my last stream with him that he's unhappy with Games for a Living. The chart, you look at Medicaid and you look at Games for a Living, and there's a stark difference. You look at Miria, stark difference. Miria was at $150 million market cap back here. A lot of that was based off of comparisons to Gala and fueled by Alex Becker pushing it, right? And it's the Becker effect. Miria doesn't have any games out. I don't follow them as closely, so I can't speak to exactly what they're doing, because I sold out of it. I made good profit on it, and I took profits and rotated. But the Miria hype was driven off the Gala comparisons and Becker and the gaming narrative, right? I don't see them out there like, with a Russ. I don't see them out there making connections with communities and things like that. Again, I don't follow them as closely. So, maybe they're doing things that I'm unaware of. In terms of Games for a Living, I like the games. I still hold Games for a Living. The chart looks like shit. $25 million market cap. This is something that I was super bullish on. And, nothing has changed in terms of its narrative, right? I think that this chart looks very similar to a lot of other gaming projects. If you look at playable games, it looks similar. You look at Game Swift, they probably look worse. But it can come back hard. Here's Game Swift. So, they look similar. And so when the charts in the sector look similar, it kind of leads you to, it tells you it's a sector-wide thing. Playable games looks terrible, but here, zoom out a little more. It had 100x. It did 100x. Okay. Starting in October of 23, it was less than a pen. It was whatever it was. It went to $100 million market cap from like $1 million. It neared 100 million. And so when the charts in the sector look the same, to me, it's a sector-wide issue, right? MCADE has been an outlier, and so I like that strength in it, and I would expect it to continue to perform well. I like the fact that MCADE is bucking the trend, but the trend in gaming has not been up. And Games for a Living still has, to me, they still have their narrative in terms of the head of EA Sports as a co-founder and the guy from King Barcelona, the Candy Crush guy, as a co-founder. They've invested in marketing. I know they've partnered with Travlad, who has about 300,000 followers on X. And so it shows you that they're looking to market. They released some new, I saw something with like jewelry. I'm not sure what it is, but they're doing things and they're active. So that's, my thoughts on Games for a Living. In terms of AI, I think everyone should be allocated, not financial advice, but when you're constructing a portfolio for alts, for me, I want to be in the narratives and the sectors that are going to run the hardest. And all signs have pointed to AI being the biggest narrative of this cycle. You see it in the macro environment, you see it in the news cycle, you see it in the government, where now there's a government agency in charge of AI. This narrative is not going away. Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA, just presented at a Las Vegas tech conference and outlined all of the NVIDIA's AI products that are coming out. And he referred to AI agents as a multi-trillion-dollar opportunity. So, it's easy to be dismissive of AI agents, because they've seemingly come out of nowhere in this crypto space. But there are a bunch of AI agent plays that have been building for a long time in this space. AI agent infrastructure plays that have been building. The thing about it is it's going to be very oversaturated now. They're easy to make. They're going to be kind of like meme coins. So I would be selective when looking at them. Some of them might be shorter term plays. I'm not chasing things, but I am mindful that AI is going to be the biggest narrative this cycle, and I want to be positioned there. So when my father-in-law said he wanted to throw some money in, he asked me to pick some stuff for him. And I did a lot of research. I made a list of a bunch of coins. This is not a definitive list. There are a lot of coins, all right, and a lot of stuff. You can watch any channel and hear people pulling out, and you'll see things on YouTube of people being like, these are the top 10 coins to buy now. There are thousands of coins out there. There are no top 10 coins to buy. You don't know what's going to hit. You can say like what looks, like a fundamentally sound play in the sector, but there is no definitive list, right? And there are always new things coming out. And there are things on here that I've left off. So this is just stuff that I am familiar with, that I've heard of. Some of it I'm more familiar with. Some of it I don't know much about. I just threw it in my list, and I'm going to do more research and try to figure out how I'm going to position my, the portfolio, my father-in-law's portfolio, when I'm thinking about, some of the AI stuff. But it's important to note that, depending on how people balance their portfolio, these are some bigger caps here. Over $1 billion doesn't mean they can't go to 40 billion, right? Now, to anchor a portfolio with something like Rndr that still has the upside of, possibly, 10x, let's say 5x is, in a strong bull alt season, you get a good 5x out of that, maybe a 10x. Virtuals has had quite a run up recently on Base. It's an AI agent platform. It's creating a lot of the coins that are coming out, like Vader and Game. But it's an infrastructure play. And I tend to like infrastructure plays. I didn't catch this. I'm not buying it now. It's had a nice run up. I did buy a bunch of Rndr for my father-in-law. Again, just because I don't want to go total Danny Degen on him and just buy, small caps. That could go to zero, because worst case scenario in crypto is always zero, right? You never know what could be unmasked as vaporware, or the bottom could fall out of anything. So always understand that the worst case scenario is going to zero in crypto, and that's just part of the game. So when constructing his portfolio, I'm not full Degen Danny. I'm buying some bigger caps for him, and I bought him some Rndr. But then you got like mid caps here, and I'll put them from 100 million Some of them have had nice runs recently, like Griffin, an AI agent network. I like Orai at $150 million market cap. This is probably something that I'm likely to buy for him. My bags are kind of packed. But when, I feel like when something's at the $150 million range and it's consolidating there, it's got some confirmation from the market, right? And it's showing strength in the sector. It's got legitimacy. The team is solid. They're building. The chart has been in this range, for a year, right? So what's your downside in the immediate future? Maybe it goes down 20%, right? If Bitcoin dumps further. It was at about $7 in November. I bought this way back here and I just, for a quick flip. I wish I had built out a better position down here. Because Orai chain it's an AI agent infrastructure play. And, when I talk about gaming, why I like Medicaid, I like ecosystems. It's hard to pick the game that's going to win. But if you pick an ecosystem, you're insulating yourself, and a game from the ecosystem could do well. Or, in a case like Medicaid, it's like, it's an ecosystem that has play to earn, and it's got the strategy game, Gangs of Medicadia. Naka, also an ecosystem play. Miria, when I liked Miria, again, it was because it's an ecosystem play. And so I like AI agent ecosystem plays. And, $150 million market cap, some of us like the small caps and like to catch them early when they're, and this came out, I forgot that this was here last cycle. I forgot about this. But, we want to catch things at like, sub 50 sometimes. But make no mistake, some of these AI projects, specifically the ecosystem ones, they can hit $10 billion in market cap. And so what's, 10 billion off of 150 million is almost 100x. 100 million to 10 billion is 100x. And so it's kind of like when I talked about in my last stream, Sandbox. All right, you miss the first move, and now it's a little bigger. But the move from here of 58 cents to, $8 is still almost 100x, right? After it had, the previous year, if you go back on Sandbox, it was cheaper, obviously, right? It's still 100x if it gets to that level. And the thing about AI tokens is it's really their first cycle. Although some have been out last cycle, this is the first full-on AI cycle. And so there is no precedent really for how high they can go. What I look at is gaming went to the top gaming projects and metaverse projects last cycle hit, Gala did 4 bill, Sand Mana did about 8, 10. Axie went higher. Axie went kind of parabolic. I want to say it got into the 20s. And so this cycle, you're already seeing Rndr in the billions. I think the top AI coins can get to 30, 40 billion, the ecosystem infrastructure plays. You could see many in the billions. You could see Orai at a $10 billion market cap. I'm not saying it happens, right? But you have to place bets and think of how high can this go? What's a realistic price prediction? Or not prediction. What's a realistic price potential? Okay, and there are multiple possible outcomes. But possible that you get 50x still out of this at this market cap. And that goes for Pal AI also, which is actually higher. It's at 350 mil. Pal AI was at 800 million earlier in the year. Again, another ecosystem play within AI. Destra has shot up a lot, I think, recently. Griffin, I think, has shot up recently. Let me take a look at Griffin. Those are, 340 million. So launched in December. It's had a nice run up. Let's see, what else? Then we get into the lower caps. I'm going to just color code these. And I still like Aitech. I saw that down here. Yeah, I'm still bullish on Aitech. Nothing has changed in terms of the fundamentals of it. When I got in it, and it's still holding up, it's like a lot of coins. It's been in a range. And right now it's back to the lower end of the range. Would I have liked to see it break 100 million? Here we go. It's in the lower part of the range, right? We saw this in November, 788. November, 75, 79. We're back down to 72. Still higher than early in the year, right? When it was 6, 5, and below that, it was like 3 cents. Early in the year, it was still 3 cents. So it's still holding up. I would have liked to have seen this get over $100 million in market cap with this. Some of these coins have moved. Not all of them, but some of them have moved. So I would have liked to have seen that. It didn't happen. But Aitech, I still have the same. Nothing fundamentally has changed with it. I like it because, again, it's an ecosystem play. It's GPU power. It's a good narrative. They've actually shown receipts of what they're building and things like that. So that kind of, the receipts kind of dispel some of, I'd seen concerns of people saying that they're not really building. The team is doxed. They've shown real pictures, could be pictures of something else, but they've shown receipts also. And they have a launch pad. They've launched tokens already from there. So yeah, I'm still bullish on Aitech. I'm still holding. I have not thought about selling or rotating out of it because, again, I think this could go to billions in market cap. That's why I bought it. But I bought some others as a hedge in the event that something bad goes wrong, which could happen, right? That's why it's good to diversify because these are all small caps at the end of the day. Vert AI, Vertical AI is an AI tools place. Palm AI is something that I've talked about a lot on the channel. Ron put that out in his group at under $1 million market cap. I bought it there in the hundreds of thousands and paper handed it. But, it's held up well, 77 million. It's hit over 100. I'm not terribly impressed by it. They make bots, but the chart has done well. Vader has done well recently. This launched from virtual, from virtuals. Someone mentioned Cubic before. Great thing about Cubic, it actually has world-class AI scientists working with it who have written books. Yeah, come from good experience. Yeah, I haven't done a deep dive into Cubic or a lot of these, So I've done like some superficial research on some of them, but I've seen Cubic throughout the cycle, and they're purported to do a ridiculous amount of transactions per second. It's an AI-powered blockchain. Then you go lower, and this is some degen stuff here. I'm going to put it in red, danger. This stuff is new, right? Tank AI is new. It's not even on CoinMarketCap, so I don't know much about it. You can research it yourself. AI Fun is an AI launcher, $10 million market cap. I don't own these. And these are between 20 and 50. Okta, Spectre. I have Astra. I have Asta when I've talked about that, and I just saw that they're going through a rebranding, which I don't really like, so I'm going to have to revisit that. But Astra, I like, $24 million market cap. It's been out for a year now. The chart has held strong, and it's kind of like an AI fintech sort of thing. And they just got like a $20 million VC funding, and they're going to be buying up the chart. They said they're going to do $1 million in buybacks broken up over the next 4 quarters. Hat looks interesting. This is an AI, a launch pad for AI agents, 55 million. Do your own research on these. Is this the one? This market cap says 72. When I looked it up earlier, it said 55. Oh, it went up 20% today. That explains it. So I looked this up this morning and it was down. I looked it up down here. Market cap jumped from 55 to 72 super quick on Top Hat. Look at that. It's like it launched back in November. Really popped off in December. I wonder if this must have been by the looks of this chart, maybe they migrated. This chart doesn't look that flat line. Looks like they may have migrated or something. So, yeah. And you can see the thing about AI agents is they're kind of like meme coins now. They're all over. You can spin one up easily and brand it. And so in that regard, you got to be careful. Some of these will be short-term plays. It's going to be very oversaturated. So it might be wise to find the good ecosystem plays. And that's kind of where my mind is at. But let's see. What's good, Jordan Riz? What's good, brother? A little late. Thanks for tuning in. Throw your comments, questions, whatever you guys want to talk about down there, because I have almost run through my stuff here. What do you think about Omikami? I bought something at 15 million market cap. The log chat is beautiful and looks like. See, Omikami has been weird, man. And I got in last year, and I think I did like a quick 3x on it. But you know, there was like a lot of talk that the founder was the founder of Shiba and that sort of thing. And then I thought, man, that could go to $1 billion. So I bought it until I learned that it wasn't. But I wrote this up a bit. So I probably got like a 3x on it, and then I sold it. I don't know about a long-term hold for me. I'm not really interested in it for a long-term hold. Could do well. I mean, look, the chart's been holding steady at this level, so I haven't really been following it too closely, though. So, yeah, answered this question. And when thinking about, again, don't marry a price prediction. Some people say this is going to this price. I think it's a setup for bag holding and failure if you marry an outcome, right? Think about potential, how high something could go, and multiple outcomes. That's how I try to position myself, because otherwise you could wait for something that never occurs, and you got convinced that it was going there, and then it doesn't happen. You know, on the flip side of it is, you know, you need to think in terms of something could go higher than you think sometimes, right? And so it's like dicey, right? When I talk about, like someone mentioned a $5 billion on Medicaid. I think that's high, but I'm not like averse to it. But sometimes, like if you think like, oh, billion's a lot, and then it goes to 3, you miss out a piece of it. But as long as you get profits along the way, you're not going to be able to capture. We can't capture the full move. Let's see what else we got here. Thanu T. Hi to everyone. OG Vault family in the house. Always good. What's good, brother? How are you? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, still bullish on that. What do you think about Tau? Too big already? Let me look it up again. It's pretty big. It's a 3.5 bill. I think it'll run more in alt season, but it's a for me it's big. I like to catch things that are earlier and try to maximize the move. So I'm not really looking to buy at this price. If I was buying for like my father-in-law, I consider these things because, again, just to protect. But for me, it's got upside because everything has upside. Even XRP has upside, right? XRP at this price, could 3x, maybe 5x. Even Solana's already had a big move this cycle at 20x. I think it's got another 3x in it. So everything has upside. It's relative though, right? And that to me is the thing. How much upside relative to other projects? And that's where I like to go into lower cap coins. First Raw on Netflix. I liked it. I thought that the quality was great. The whole quality was great. The set was great. Don't like the black mat. I thought the matches were really good in there. The Rocks thing didn't make any sense to me. They should have had him come back as the final boss heel. He kind of like broke character and appeared as Dwayne Johnson and hugged Cody Rhodes. That didn't make sense to me. So I think they botched that. I'm looking forward to next week to see like what it looks like in a regular episode, right? Because this was kind of felt like a celebration of the partnership with Netflix. So it was cool. The matches were good, I thought. I like the Stratton win. Not Stratton, Ripley. The Ripley win over the Morgan. I was entertained. I liked it. But if there are no other questions or comments here, I'm going to call it a day. I will be back with another stream. I got 2 streams coming up. I got a Tectum team member coming on probably in a week and a half. And then I've got a solo stream this weekend. All right, that's what I got going on. Solo stream this weekend. I got the Tectum team coming on. And I'll try to do, 2 or 3 streams a week. I'm in a good roll right now. Try to keep it up. A lot to talk about. So thanks to everyone for coming through. I will see you all in the next one. Like and subscribe. Peace.